Good morning, world. I received a message from a man who says, all these videos are nice and all, but my real issue is that my wife and my ex-wife keep driving me crazy. And that is unfortunately a part of our reality with the divorce rate being what it is. Many people are moving on to second, third, and even more marriages. But no matter how many times you may have moved on from your relationship, if there were children involved, that person is always going to be a part of your life and by extension, a part of your new relationship. And that is why today we're talking about 5 tips for managing your ex and current relationship. First is to be upfront and forthcoming with information. Because especially when you have two people who may not like each other, it's nice to not have secrets that one may have that they can use against the other person. Don't keep secrets between you and your ex that they can use to hurt or just get at your current spouse. Like you don't want your ex-husband to come to your husband and say, yeah, you think your relationship is so strong, so why do I know this that she's keeping from you? You don't want that kind of situation. So be forthcoming with information. And of course, if you are forthcoming with information, if you are upfront with things, the person is less likely to feel a need to be digging and pushing to get into things. They won't be as anxious if your ex calls and you're talking. They won't be so concerned about whatever it is that is being discussed because they know that they're going to find out. You're going to tell them. So they don't have to try to uncover anything if they believe that they are going to be given the information and that they're not going to have to. There's no secret that they need to go dig for. To engage them in the decisions, and especially the ones that impact them. Normally, especially when it comes to your children or people think, okay, I need to make the decision with myself and my child's mother, my child's father. But you have to remember that and a lot of times it involves that third person who is your spouse, because let's say you decide you want to have the kids for the holidays. When they come to your house for the holidays, they're also coming to your husband's house for the holidays. You decide to send the kids to camp. When you are paying for camp, it's coming out of the household money that's going towards camp. So these little things are important to make sure that you're discussing them with your spouse as well. And of course, your spouse doesn't want to be an additional child in that relationship where you and your ex makes decisions and then and then they're told what's going on that they have to accept. So involve them in the decision, especially decisions that impact them. Don't pit them against each other. It's hard enough to be that new person in a relationship, the person where there was already a unit and now that unit is being changed. It's kind of like, when you paint a door and when you go replace the door in your car, there's that new door there that's trying to match the rest of the car. It's hard enough to be that new door. You don't want to put it in a situation where don't pit them against each other. Don't tell your wife things about your ex or things that your ex does that's going to upset her. Don't tell your ex stuff that your wife does that's going just you want to be honest. I'm not saying to be deceitful, but sometimes you may have to kind of how do I say, let yourself be the bad guy so that you don't create a situation where your ex and your current spouse feel that they have to be at each other, and especially when it's maybe protecting you, that kind of stuff. Don't pit them against each other. Insist that your friends and your family respect your current relationship. Again, back to my new door on the car thing. The whole system existed and this person now has to try to adjust into an existing system. It's important that you make sure that your current that your family, your friends respect your relationship. They may have a relationship with your ex because your ex was a part of your life for so long, but with your new spouse, they have to be respectful of that. This would mean that, your mom cannot invite your ex to Thanksgiving dinner when your wife is coming. Your mom cannot have your ex over for a Christmas dinner and tell your wife she can't come. You know, things like that. Being respectful, understanding that this is the person in your life right now, and accepting him or her as this person in your life right now. And this also means that, yeah, they can't just have that, you know, the shrine to your ex-husband that your parents had. They may have to take that down, or at least put it in the basement or something. And finally, be supportive and acknowledge the difficulty of being in that situation. Yes, it's going to be hard on you as well. It's going to be hard on everybody. But in that situation, it's kind of like you who needs to play the role of the mediator, that middleman, the parent or the bearer of the burden, who has to be that glue that holds it all together, because all the parts are connected through you, and so you have to be the glue who holds it together. It's going to be hard on you, and yes, you're going to rely on your spouse and friends and family, and mostly your spouse, to help you through it. But you also need to be there and be supportive for your spouse, and acknowledge that yes, this is a very difficult situation, because they are trying to become part of an existing unit. It's not a unit that was formed it's with them in mind. It's a unit that was already formed, that they now have to mold themselves into. So, quick recap. Be upfront and forthcoming with information, because people are less likely to be digging when they feel that they are going to know whatever's going on. Don't keep secrets, because secrets are a way for people to inject negativity into your relationship. 2, engage them in discussion or in decisions, especially decisions that involved or impact them. 3, don't pit them against each other, because it's hard enough to be in that situation. If you start pitting them against each other, it's just going to make it even more difficult for them to get along, especially for your sake and the sake of any children in the situation. Insist that your family and friends respect your current relationship. They may have had a great relationship with your ex. They may love your ex, but you know what? You now have a new spouse, and they have to respect him or her as well. They don't have to love her the way they did your first spouse, but they do have to respect her, your spouse, and your relationship. And 5, be supportive and acknowledge the difficulties that they are going to be facing as a new member of this system. And just be there, even if that means that sometimes you get to be the bad guy. You get to shoulder the burden of, being the guy who holds it all together. That is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have a great day.